Crypto Kids, welcome back to another live stream. Today, Bitcoin is having a pretty large breakout, and everyone is wondering, is Bitcoin going to go higher? But ladies and gents, if you can smash up the like button, that would be amazing. And if you're tuning in after the live stream is finished, then I would definitely recommend going to the timestamps, which I will place after it's done. But it's going to be an incredibly informative video. We're going to be jumping into the Bitcoin price chart. We have some breaking news to cover, my trade, and so much more. But before we get into any of those things, if you can let me know in the chat section, where are you tuning in from? And in the meantime, we can go ahead and jump into the Bitcoin TA. Now, if you're in my free Telegram community, by the way, last night I made the following update. So Bitcoin was actually forming a bullish pennant on the 4-hourly time frame, and I mentioned here that I'm adding to my long position that we entered at $43,300, and I'm looking to take some profits at the 53K level. Now, just a quick update from this: I have not taken profit yet. I will explain why, and I posted the chart here. So we also talked about Ethereum, which we'll get into Ethereum and the potential altcoin season that's about to start. And, we were approaching our $3,150 target for Ethereum, which we smashed, I believe, right now. So that I'll get into as well. And just a couple of minutes ago, Bitcoin broke out from this bull flag. So massive congrats if you did decide to trade. Of course, nothing in this stream is financial advice, just my personal TA and opinions only. Always make sure to come to your own conclusions. But this is what I shared. It is a completely free community, by the way. You can join using the link in the description below. I just offer my TA when I can, if I can't make a video at that moment in time. So you can go down and go to the description and sign up using, or not sign up, just join if you have Telegram using that link. But anyway, so in terms of the trade, this was sitting at around, it was so low margin, and it was unfortunately just a 2x long position that we opened when we were breaking out from the inverse head and shoulders and the bullish pennant just a couple of weeks back. We entered at $43,200, and it's been open since. Because it was on 2x leverage, it's up 46.7%, but unfortunately the P&L isn't as high as I want it to be. But it's okay, because this is just the $10,000 trading challenge. Personally, I am DCAing into Bitcoin as much as possible in spot because of multiple reasons that I'll get into as well. But it's just looking super bullish for Bitcoin in the macro. And, I'm going to blow your mind with some of the stats that I have to share with you. And guys, thank you so much for letting me know where you're tuning in from. We have Netherlands, a lot from Netherlands, actually. So massive shout out to you guys. I have a lot of Dutch friends. You guys are absolutely fantastic, but you are incredibly tall, which I do not know how that's possible. Greece, we have Rwanda. We have so many people tuning in from all across the world. Love from Dubai. Guys, thank you so much. You are all absolutely fantastic. Now, going into the short-term TA. So we'll get into the short-term TA, then we'll get into the breaking news. We have a couple of giveaways running. So yeah, it's just going to be an awesome stream overall. It's been a long time since I did stream, and I want to make this really, really awesome just for you. So this is the 4-hourly time frame for Bitcoin. And, we had a little bit of a fake out yesterday. This is when I added to my position. And to be honest with you, I was like, oh no, are we going to break down? But Bitcoin showed strength. The bulls defeated the bears, and we managed to break out of this trend line. And we hit $53,600, which is absolutely incredible. By the way, if you could let me know in the chat if the audio is fine and the video is fine, that would be very much appreciated. But Bitcoin has risen ever since the breakout of this trend line by approximately 3.8%, which is not bad whatsoever. And since we entered the long position on Bitcoin, so see, here was the inverse head and shoulders and the pennant, the bullish pennant. This was just when I came back from Japan. Bitcoin is so cool. It waited for me to come back from Japan, and then it saw a beautiful breakout. Now we're up 23.9% since. So Bitcoin has been going absolutely crazy. I do have my worries. I do have my concerns. But let's just celebrate here for a minute, because that's not something, well, actually, it is something that we've been doing for a while. And in terms of my very, very short-term analysis, right, if Bitcoin manages to go above $54,300, I definitely believe that Bitcoin can head towards the $57,000 territory. But we need to hold our horses for a minute, calm down just a little, because there are multiple bearish divergences forming. Of course, there's one forming ever since October of 2023. we have one forming just now on the price. As you can see, this is a high, this is a low, but it's the complete inverse on the price action. So there are multiple divergences forming, which, we do need to be careful of. Now, the thing with divergences, it's a little bit annoying because it doesn't give you the time of reversal. It just tells you that eventually there's going to be a reversal in price, but it doesn't say, hold on, now Bitcoin is going to drop. That's not what the bearish divergence does, or a bullish divergence. It just indicates a potential reversal. And a cool fact is that Bitcoin has not been at $53,000 ever since. So if we go back in time, Bitcoin has not been at this level since December of 2021. Ladies and gents, this is when I started my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel back in December of 2021, right there. And if you go back to my first videos, I was actually calling this head and shoulders pattern. So we had this head and shoulders pattern. Bitcoin broke down by like 67%. It was terrible, but I started my channel just as the bear market was starting. But we've held up pretty well. And now after like 2.5 years, Bitcoin is back to 53K. The only thing missing though is that we do not have the same amount of attention in Bitcoin, in crypto, like we did back then. As a matter of fact, Wikipedia searches for Bitcoin are down by 87%. If you go to the Google Trends, which is something that we can do right now as an interactive thing. So in the meantime, let me just go to Google Trends. And then while I'm in Google Trends, I can share you the total searches for Bitcoin because it is absolutely nowhere near the previous bull market high. So let's jump in. This is Google Trends. This is a place where you can see all the data for what is being, what's been searched in Google before on YouTube, etc. So if we go and type in Bitcoin here, we can see that Bitcoin worldwide. So if we go worldwide, all categories, web search, and if we go to the, let's go like 2004 and present, because Bitcoin didn't exist back then, but somehow there's still some price surges. I don't know how, but we can see here, Bitcoin, yes, we've seen a lot of traction with the Bitcoin spot ETF approvals. There you can see in January was when we peaked. And if we compare it to the previous bull market in 2021, we are nowhere close to what was being searched. So the retail volume is still not there yet. And as a matter of fact, Bitcoin, the most pump that we've been seeing these past couple of weeks, it's just been purely institutional. It looks like more institutional adoption is going to be coming into Bitcoin. So I am personally very, very excited. And we're going to be sharing some of the top firms that are looking into buying Bitcoin, because these are hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars worth of capital that's mostly going to be flowing in. So that we will get into. And what we can tell from this Google search trends is that, as I said, most of this volume is coming from institutional investors. The retail traders will probably, from what I'm expecting, be kicking in as soon as Bitcoin nears $66,000 or $69,000. As we come close towards the all-time high, that's when mainstream media is going to be going crazy and talking about Bitcoin, just like they did just a couple of weeks back when we smashed $50,000. That's when I realized, okay, my friends are asking me about Bitcoin. Their portfolios are in the green again. But the time that, a lot of retail is going to be coming back in is going to be when Bitcoin breaks to the all-time high. That's when the average Joe is going to go back into his Binance account and see that all of his tokens, all of his altcoins are in profit once again. So that's what I'm expecting. When Bitcoin nears to 69K, I think we will probably extend to $90,000 by the end of the cycle when all the retail traders are back. And then after hitting $90,000, I think that will be the top for Bitcoin, unless the United States dollar loses a lot of value that we don't know of. But looking at Ethereum, right? Just looking into Ethereum very quick. And before I jump into Ethereum, by the way, we do have a very cool giveaway that just started running with Bitflex. So, ladies and gentlemen, you guessed it right. The Apple Watch is back. It's been a while since we did an Apple Watch giveaway with the guys, but they were so kind enough that we are now running another Apple Watch giveaway. It was a very, very big success the last time round. And if you click the top link in this live stream or video, you will be redirected to this page. And if you haven't registered to Bitflex already, you can do so. You can get up to $68,000 in prizes by signing up and using the rewards hub. and potentially get an Apple Vision Pro, which is mind-blowing. You can watch the second video on the description to find out how you can redeem your rewards, how it works and everything. That's incredible by itself, but on top of this, you can get a chance to winning a Apple Watch if you sign up to Bitflex using the top link in the description below. So let's jump back into Bitcoin and we can go into Ethereum, because I know a lot of people are wondering about Ethereum too. Has the altcoin season started? Is Ethereum going to break new all-time highs and go to $10,000? That I will try to do my best to explain. Of course, nothing in this video is financial advice, just my personality and opinions only. Super, super important. But Bitcoin is broken above very crucial liquidation. So if we zoom out onto the monthly scale and check out where the crucial liquidity targets for Bitcoin are, we know that in previous history for Bitcoin, we tend to come up or come down, collect the liquidity, and then continue either trading higher or going much lower after hitting key liquidation levels. Now, the most important liquidity event that Bitcoin will face is going to be at $50,500. That's where $12 billion worth of liquidity are piled up. So far, we're pretty far away from it. And will Bitcoin reach it? Well, let's go back into the TA, because the TA does show us the bearish divergence that I talked about. And the annoying thing with bearish or bullish divergences is that, we don't know exactly when it's going to reverse, but we just know that a reversal is due to happen. This was a trend line that I've been talking about in multiple videos. So this trend line has been forming since 2015. Look at that. We have our first test here in 2015. Then we have another one in 2020 with the COVID dump. And then Bitcoin breaks below this trend line in June of 2022. We enter into a bear market where we hit $15,500. And then Bitcoin starts reversing back up. We test it, find resistance at 29.7K. And now, ladies and gents, we're testing it one more time. I've been saying this a lot. When Bitcoin flips over this line of resistance, which is now incredibly weak, Bitcoin will go to all-time highs. What is the strategy? Well, if you're already in a long position, congrats. If you've been watching the channel already, congrats. But if you're not already, then what I'm personally doing is I'm dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, oh my God, it's like every single cycle, it's the same, and it's the same once again. We can see here, right, there is one concerning thing. Of course, we have the bearish divergence. We have potentially Consensio. It's still bullish. We've not flipped bearish yet. But alongside the bearish divergence, if we look at the price action, right, Bitcoin has been trading on the weekly time frame, and the monthly time frames. We've been printing green candles back to back to back. And what we can compare this cycle to the previous cycle to is the most obvious comparison we can make are these candles back in 2021. We have a huge rally from the $30,000 area. We have one red candle, then we print another green candle towards the upside. However, Bitcoin, after doing that, sees a dump of approximately 25%, which is normal because we tend to see that type of price action going into the halving. I just saw Carl in the comments. Thank you so much, Carl, for tuning in. It means a lot, bro. We were just on the Moon Show and Bitcoin's breaking out right after, so it's super, super cool. But thank you, Carl, and thank you to all of you for tuning in. But as I was saying, Bitcoin is printing a similar price action here just before the halving event, because miners tend to take profit, guys. A lot of miners are going to become unprofitable after this halving. Think about it. The amount of rewards that is going to be given to miners is going to go down by half. There's a global chip shortage still because of AI and the amount of demand for quantum computing. That's why NVIDIA stock has been going through the roof, by the way. So mining is still expensive. Only sovereign funds can continue mining Bitcoin because they get cheap Bitcoin. Therefore, we're expecting approximately 20% of the Bitcoin hash rate to drop down. And in the meantime, we may see miners taking some profit. So the similar price action goes here. We've been pumping from approximately $40,000. We've had many green candles. We had a red candle, which looks eerily the same as last time. Now we're having this bullish green candle. And if Bitcoin were to drop 20-25% from here, that's going to bring us back to very crucial support of $40,000. So ladies and gents, I think it's going to be very complex for Bitcoin to go below $40,000. Once again, I know I've said 31K, I know I've said 34K, but the thing with price action is the higher an asset goes, because moving averages, it follows along as well. It's a lagging indicator, but eventually catches up. So if the price of Bitcoin or any asset class manages to stay higher and higher, then it reduces the probability of a larger push towards the downside. So if you're looking for areas to potentially be buying into Bitcoin with mass volume, then $40,100 may be the crucial level of support you're looking for. But in the very short term, if Bitcoin breaks above $54,200, then ladies and gents, that's going to be incredible happy days for us. That's going to give us a next target on the weekly time frame of, in my opinion, $59,000. So $59,000 would be my next target for Bitcoin, or in fact, let's say $60,000 exactly, if we manage to go above $5,000 or $56,100. That's on the weekly time frame, and on the daily time frame, that's going to be $54,000. So 60K is looking more likely and likely as we have huge inflows from the ETFs. But all of the breaking news I'll get into in just a second, so don't go anywhere. Ethereum has been breaking. Ethereum has been going crazy. We bought Ethereum at $2,100, $2,200. So if I go back to Bitflex, we've actually been purchasing Ethereum over here. So you can see order price, we bought $2,200, $2,187. This is on the $10,000 trading challenge. On my personal account, I've been buying a lot of Ethereum. Now, I wish I opened a leveraged long position here, but I just wanted to accumulate spot Ethereum instead. And, in the previous videos, we mentioned that the spot ETF hype, it's not going to die out, right? It's not going to die out. We've been seeing a lot of positive news about Ethereum in the past couple of weeks for the spot ETF approval. Do I personally think that the spot ETF approval is going to be coming for Ethereum in the upcoming, in like May 23rd? No, I think there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle missing. If we compare it to Bitcoin, Bitcoin had a journey of like 7 years where we had the DCM listing, we had the CME launch right in 2017. That gave something to the SEC to say, look, we can prove a point. Bitcoin already had a CME listing. It was successful. Now we can go ahead with the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Unfortunately, Ethereum doesn't have the same. But what is different this time is that there's so many lobbyist groups from Coinbase, big corporations demanding the SEC to create the Ethereum spot ETFs. Why? Because number one, the big banks and big institutions and all the ETF issuers, they're making so much money from the Bitcoin ETFs that they know if an Ethereum spot ETF was to be there, they're going to make even more money. So paying lobbyist groups, paying lawyers to go and fight with the SEC to make sure that the approval happens makes so much sense because they're going to be making so much more in return. Now, I don't want to go into all the Craig Wright stuff because it's pretty crazy. If you know what's going on with Copa and Craig Wright and him claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto, it's a bunch of BS. I'll give you the most recent update. If you want to read the chain of emails by Satoshi Nakamoto, I think it is a definitely must read because he mentions a lot of stuff there. You can go to BitMEX Research over on Twitter. They provide the best threads with what's going on, the latest, etc. But Craig Wright, he said himself that I don't have to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, so he basically admitted to not being Satoshi Nakamoto. But what's crazy is the total ETF flows have been mind-boggling. Tomorrow, by the way, I'm going to be posting an incredible video that explains why Bitcoin is an asset that's here to stay and why it's important. So turn on the notification bell. That's a video that you do not want to miss. I repeat, turn on the notification bell because tomorrow a banger video is dropping. But anyways, here we can see that the total, oh wow, okay, so Fairside decided to update their website. But here we can see that this is, okay, 26th of February. We don't have the data launched for today yet. This data comes in approximately like 9 hours or 10 hours or so. What we do know is that yesterday we had $232 million coming in, the previous day $250 million, and the day before was the first net outflow day since a long time at $35 million coming out. But ladies and gents, before I continue, if you can smash up the like button to 150 likes, that would be the most amazing thing ever. We're currently sitting at 100 likes. Thank you so much for that. But 150 would just be next level. So as I was saying, the ETF volumes are amazing. usually whenever a new ETF asset class comes out, there tends to be a lot of inflows coming in for the next few months. So do not expect large amounts of outflows. As Bitcoin continues to go up, the ETF inflows will simultaneously grow too. I've said this in the past couple of videos. We're right now stuck in a loop where as higher the price of Bitcoin goes, the higher the inflows to the ETFs. So that's going to keep driving the Bitcoin price up. I'm definitely sure of this. And remember, after the halving, we're going to be seeing a reduction of new Bitcoin being released into the supply from 900 Bitcoin per day to 450 Bitcoin per day. Currently, we're seeing demand of approximately $600 million going into Bitcoin every single day, $600 million. But unfortunately, there's only $46 million available new to the supply. So think about it. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's just supply and demand only. There's nothing special to it. But after the halving event, which we can check over on cryptokit.com, so just give me 1 second. After the halving event, well, that's going to be reduced to approximately $23 million. So based off of just like high school economics, the price of Bitcoin should be surging like crazy as long as there's demand, and demand will just keep on going. Why, you may ask? Well, demand will keep increasing because, hyperinflationary countries, the amount of hyperinflationary countries that are on the world right now, it's increasing. And we talked about this on the prior Moon Show, right? So for example, in Turkey, people do not have much of an option to, hedge themselves against inflation. They can either buy gold, silver. They can't convert their money into the US dollar because the country itself, there aren't enough dollars available in the central bank for you to get it. So that's not possible. And the forex rate, etc., not the best. And what happens is you're either left with buying gold, buying silver, or buying Bitcoin. Buying gold and silver comes with their own complications, right? So to maintain your gold, you have to invest in security parameters in your house. You need to buy safe. Then you're going to be worried about, okay, what if someone breaks in? So because you have that worry, you're going to take it to the bank, and the bank is going to ask for insurance fee. And then you know that the bank is probably going to take this gold away from you, and now you no longer have that gold, et cetera, et cetera. Therefore, buying Bitcoin was super simple. It was the easiest option for people to hedge themselves against inflation. And that's why Bitcoin is growing in popularity amongst so many countries. And eventually, it's going to become legal tenders, just like how it's in, El Salvador. So that's one of the biggest values for Bitcoin. And after the 2024 halving, Bitcoin is going to be the hardest asset on planet Earth. Meaning that, so gold is the current hardest asset. When Bitcoin has the halving event, there will be less Bitcoin entering the supply than there is gold entering the gold supply. So in summary, Bitcoin's just looking amazing in the macro. We have 52 days left until the halving. If we look at on-chain data, the best time to be DCing into Bitcoin is 85 days before the Bitcoin halving. And that's what I've been saying over the past couple of weeks. If you're not DCing into Bitcoin already, 85 days is the number, because 85 days, if you buy Bitcoin every single day, for the last 85 days leading up to the halving, you make the highest amount of returns. This is statistically proven. So going back over the breaking news, we don't have too much coming through. We do have some key economic events this week. We have new home sales data. We have, most importantly, US Q4 2023 GDP data. This is going to be on Wednesday. Now, this event by itself can create a huge move on Bitcoin. And this links to my previous topic. So if the United States GDP is revealed to be in a negative, in deficit, well, the value of the United States dollar will decrease. So if the value of the DXY decreases, then Bitcoin against the dollar can just simultaneously increase without without much stuff happening at the same time. So that's incredible stuff that we need to be paying attention to. Put that on your calendar somewhere. Go to forexfactory.com. There you can track the actual event, when it's going to happen. So Wednesday, super important in terms of US economic data and its potential impact on Bitcoin. But there isn't too many breaking news. I will go through what I have because I did prepare some stuff. So going back to the very, 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 very start, I don't want to miss out anything. So NVIDIA revenue has been growing like crazy. I'm super bullish on AI. AI is going to do crazy stuff in the upcoming years. But we went through the latest data. This was crazy because new investment firm Carlson Group will now offer 4 Bitcoin ETFs to advisors: BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, and Franklin Templeton. Now, this is a $30 billion RIA platform, and the only thing missing was financial advisors pushing Bitcoin to their clients, because financial advisors control so much of the equities market that when financial advisors give the green light for the Bitcoin spot ETFs, then you'll see Bitcoin spot ETFs in retirement accounts, Roth IRAs, 401ks. That's when it goes into a mass adoption. So this news is so incredibly bullish, people do not even comprehend. Then I also saw that a $100 billion firm with financial advisors, they also gave the green light so this was the one. So Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley announces that their Bitcoin ETF has been approved to be listed on an additional wealth management platform with over $100 billion in assets under management, which is also equally unbelievable. There's going to be so much buying pressure for Bitcoin. People are just going to lose their minds. Additionally, we also saw the lowest GBTC outflows yet last week, with just $44 million worth being sold on Thursday. Again, very bullish. And here we have an interesting line from Satoshi Nakamoto himself. So he says that there will be a ton of scams branding themselves as layer 2s in the future, but Bitcoin is the only one here to stay. I sound like a maxi. I know I sound like a maxi right now. You know what? Put me up to the pedestal for it, but I really do believe in Bitcoin here. And, I'm super, super bullish. We still have a lot of accumulation going on, even though the price of Bitcoin is increasing. And what more? We don't have much left. Then I'll jump straight back into the Bitcoin price. Don't you worry. We have some news about Ethereum. So the SEC simultaneously issued initial comment letters on issuers' Bitcoin spot ETF register statements on the 9th of the 29th. I don't know why Americans use that dating structure, but we saw amended S1s show up about 2 weeks later. So about 90 days ahead of the January 10th deadline, we're now 90 days away. So it's making a contrast between the Bitcoin spot ETF and Ethereum spot ETF approval. I don't think it's something that you can really confirm back to back, because it's going to be a lot different here. I personally don't think Ethereum will see the confirmation on May the 23rd. I think it's going to be pushed back, but eventually, just like the CEO of Grayscale has said, there's going to be an Ethereum spot ETF, and it's a matter of when, not a matter of if. But eventually there will be. I just don't think it's going to be coming around this early, because there's so many puzzles missing. There's so many pieces in the puzzle missing. Here we have another very interesting tweet, or actually one of the mail by Satoshi Nakamoto. And, here he says the site layout is looking nicer, more impressive looking, talking about Bitcoin.org. And he says here that regarding my previous forum post, I like to reiterate that pineapple and jalapenos is a good pizza topping. This probably gives, as Eric Balchunas has said, one of the biggest giveaways to Satoshi Nakamoto's identities, because clearly, well, he's not Italian, because who eats pineapples and jalapenos with their pizza? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you like pineapple pizza? I don't know. I personally find it very, very weird. And this was what I was talking about regarding Bitcoin and Wikipedia. It's down 84% from their 2021 bull run peak. So retail has definitely not entered yet. And Bitcoin ETFs bought nearly 2 times the supply of what was released into the new circulating supply last week. Again, another very, very bullish thing. But that's pretty much wrapping the Bitcoin news going over the past couple of days. MicroStrategy's X account has been hacked yesterday. So be careful, guys. Even though if you see like Apple tweeting free iPhone giveaway, don't believe it. There's a lot of stuff happening, especially with AI. You need to be careful and critically think to yourself, is this thing too good to be true or not? Now, this actually popped out to me today, because this piece of news, you may not think it's significant. I personally think it's huge, because Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of 55% sustainable energy. You're probably saying, bro, are you crazy? Why is this important news? Well, this is important news because it goes to show to all the naysayer mainstream media outlets out there, Bitcoin is not hurting the environment. I actually prepared a full article on this last week talking about the European Central Bank and how they're just putting out false claims on Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually helps the environment. And you need to understand this. Like the amount of energy consumed by the entire monetary system. Think of banks, right? Think of the running of banks. Think of employees commuting to the banks and coming back. Think of ATMs all across the world. Think of Swift. Like there's so much energy being consumed by the modern monetary system that if you compare it with Bitcoin, you're always going to lose. So Bitcoin is more sustainable than the current monetary system. And as a matter of fact, 55% of Bitcoin mining uses sustainable energy. So I hope that shuts up a lot of the critics out there because that's the only thing they have. They only have sustainable energy or Bitcoin hurts the environment. And number two, Bitcoin is only used by criminals. Those are the literal only two arguments they have against Bitcoin. Nothing else. But ladies and gents, going back into the price of Bitcoin, let's see if Bitcoin did anything crazy. And then I want to go into some of your comments, then into some of your altcoins. So prepare your questions, prepare the altcoins that you want me to be looking into, and I will get to them straight away. In the meantime, let's have a look into Bitcoin and make sure, ladies and gents, smash up the like button. That would be very much appreciated. If you're just joining into the stream, make sure to watch it from the start because we went through a lot of things already that you do not want to miss out. So Bitcoin, just a recap, we broke out of this bull flag on the 4-hourly time frame that I shared last night on my free Telegram community. You can join using the link in the description below. But we broke out. I added to my long position right around there. And so far, we're up like 3.5%. If you're looking for a place to be trading Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies accumulating for the long run, then you can sign up to Bitflex using the link, the pinned link in the chat or in the description below, and you can get a chance of winning an Apple Watch giveaway, which is absolutely fantastic. It's going to be running for a month. But Bitcoin is broken out since the trade is doing very, very well. My spot positions are thankfully doing very, very well as well. But altcoins, ladies and gents, what are altcoins doing? Because that is what I'm into. We are about to see a mind-bending altcoin season approaching us very soon. When soon? Well, usually the altcoin seasons tend to start after the halving. So wait another 2-3 months, and that's when we're going to be seeing mind-bending gains from altcoins. That is my personal prediction. So let me go into the chat section and go through some of your altcoin recommendations for me to go over. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go over some of your comments. We have people tuning in from Ghana. That's absolutely incredible, man. Thank you so much for watching the stream. Means so much. Carl, hopefully, bro, by the way, you're feeling better. That would be incredible to know if you're feeling better or not. Let's go over. Okay, so we have a lot of altcoins coming in right now. Let me try and go through some in the meantime. But just looking through your comments. So yeah, the American date structure is very weird. I don't know why you put it like that, to be honest. It makes so much sense if you do day, then month, then year, no? No, I hate it on my pizza. Well, clearly you're not Satoshi Nakamoto. But God, who eats pineapple and jalapenos on their pizza? I don't know where he's from. I'm pretty sure he's American, but I don't know where. Okay, so we have ICP, we have WorldCoin, Litecoin, and Sol. I want to look into WorldCoin. Ladies and gents, I'm gonna look into WorldCoin. And most of you that's been watching my channel, you know just exactly what's about to happen right now. So let's go into WorldCoin. God, why is this token pumping? I don't get it, man. I do not get why this token is pumping. Let's go into crypto. There it is. WorldCoin. Wow, look at that. So the altcoin season hasn't started yet. WorldCoin and Uniswap are the two notable cryptocurrencies or the altcoins that have been pumping. The reason is WorldCoin, number one, because of the AI narrative. We went from $2 all the way to $9, which is mind-bending. I guess a lot of people want to get their irises scanned or something. I don't know, you do you, but no thank you, OpenAI. You're not going to have my retina information. So WorldCoin is pumping. I hate this. I absolutely hate this. Like, I'm sorry if there's any fans of WorldCoin. I literally have a rant talking about why WorldCoin is stupid for 20 minutes. You can go check it out. It's one of my most viewed videos. But yeah, WorldCoin is stupid. We can go into something else, like, for example, Uniswap. So Uniswap has been pumping, and it's actually very interesting because why? Uniswap, apparently the actual company itself, they want to distribute revenue to Uniswap token holders. Now, I think this is a remarkable thing to do. Like, it gives actually utility to a token, and honestly speaking, like Uniswap does incredible, like millions and millions of dollars worth of volume per month, per day even, when the altcoin season starts. So there's going to be so many altcoins trading on Uniswap. And if the users manage to get a revenue split from that, I think like it's going to do very well. But keep in mind, layer 2s are expected to have a huge drop in gas fees following the Denkun upgrade. So this may be something strategic that Uniswap is doing. Before we see the Denkun upgrade, they're trying to milk as much as possible because they know the revenue generated is not going to be huge. So let's just put that onto the token and pump that as much as possible. So that's probably the strategy that Uniswap is applying right now, but definitely interesting. I want to have a look at Solana. What is Solana doing? Because Solana, last time that I looked at Solana, it was down for like 4.5 hours, the blockchain. But no, it's continuing to rise. It actually reminds me a lot of the Bitcoin chart. But Solana here could be forming a little bit of a triangle. So let's draw a resistance line, and this is going to be a huge line of support that Solana is testing too. So yeah, we bounced off perfectly from there, of course, because we just drew the support line, didn't we? But you know, if we break above $116, I think Solana could easily, right, on the weekly time frame. I think we're not at all-time highs, but easily we could come back up to $135. That's where Solana is going to face a lot of resistance. If you like to trade Solana, you can do so over on Bitflex too, and you can get a chance of winning a free Apple Watch. And you can grind for an Apple Vision Pro if you have 750,000 flex points. But that's what I'm looking at in terms of Solana. Now, what I'm also super bullish in terms of altcoins is that I'm looking at GameFi projects. Now, GameFi is going to be the next big thing in crypto. It's already a big thing, but it's going to be even bigger. Because think about it this way. How can we onboard millions and millions and billions of people into the crypto industry? Number one, of course, if there's a lot of hyperinflation and people are forced to using Bitcoin in their daily lives, then they will be buying Bitcoin and using Bitcoin. That's already there. That's already set. Number two is going to be from GameFi. Because imagine when AI takes all of our jobs, right? Including this one, because there's going to be AI content creators. Like you can see what's happening with Soma and the crazy AI generated videos that are going on. It's taking over Hollywood. It's taking over this. There's no need to make a fuss about it. It's happening. So once that happens, we are all going to be replaced, and they're going to give us a universal basic income. We're going to be sitting at home making 80 grand per year, and we have nothing to do with our lives other than to potentially play games for an extra living. So imagine you're making 80 grand for universal basic income, and you can play a blockchain-based game to be making money on the side as passive income and spending your time productively, right? So that's why I think GameFi is going to be huge, and I have a lot of my altcoin portfolio specifically in GameFi. Notably, I have it in Polygon and Immutable X, which are two great platforms where GameFi projects can actually be built. And remember, building like a full-fledged AAA game takes 4 to 5 years since inception. So in every 4 to 5 years, then we can have an awesome AAA game that's like Call of Duty level. So think about this. It's been 3 years since all of these games have been building. That means this year and the year after, we're going to be seeing some crazy blockchain-based games launching onto the market that are going to be in the same level as like Call of Duty. So it's going to be so much easier for us to onboard Web 2 players into crypto, whereas before it was just like people farming for tokens or whatnot. That's why I think blockchain-based games and GameFi is going to be huge. It's going to be teaching kids about blockchain, and evidently enough, in a household, who has the most power of decision, or who has the most influence in a household? It's the kids. Like my parents learned about Bitcoin because of me. My parents use ChatGPT because of me. And if people or if kids are like playing video games that work with blockchain technology and they hold Bitcoin or tokens, then their parents are going to be finding out about that, and they may potentially end up buying in too. So I think GameFi is going to be huge for multiple reasons, and that's why There's two games I'm playing actually. One of them is a sponsor for this video. Shout out to My Lovely Planet for sponsoring the video. You can check out the description below to play the game. And I think they're holding a pre-sale right now for their token. Do your own due diligence, but check it out. Pretty cool. I am playing two games. One of them is Medieval Empires and the other one is My Lovely Planet. So let me open up Medieval Empires right now just very quickly because unfortunately, it's super addicting. It is super addicting. I'm just about to reach Town Hall 15, and it's been taking like literally months and months of grind. Let me know in the description below, if not in the description, but in the comments, if you're playing Medieval Empires, and if so, which town hall are you in? So, okay, there it is. Medieval Empires loading up. It's literally like Clash of Clans, but I find it way cooler and so crazy that it's just in beta. But yeah, I just wanted to check back in because I haven't today. I need to collect my resources, and I just need a couple of more 100,000 resources to upgrade to the next town hall, which is going to be Town Hall 15. But yeah, if you're not in the CryptoKid land, well then you missed out, because I mentioned multiple times that you can be joining the land for free if you just put your UID in the description. Actually, we still have like 1, 2, 3 lands left to join. So if you put your Medieval Empires UID, then we can play together on my land. I'll invite you to play. But it's super cool. It's super fun. And let me just flash my VIP status that I spent way too much money for. But yeah, there you go. It's fun. But yeah, that's Medieval Empires to you. Going back into Bitcoin, let's see if Bitcoin is doing much. Bitcoin isn't doing much. We're sitting at $53,450, but it's done what it has to do already. Like, we've broken a new high since December of 2021. It's been 2.5 years already. And God, it's just so exciting that Bitcoin is back to these levels. I'm going to go through your comments. The CryptoKids army. Yes, CryptoKids. You got to join the Medieval Empires land. Or what are you doing with your life? Like, every person in school now is playing Medieval Empires thanks to me, and they're all on my land. So yeah, we got a bunch of kids grinding the game. I don't know if Luke is watching. But yeah, the second game I'm playing is My Lovely Planet. Pretty cool game too. It's like Candy Crush. Like, I was addicted to Candy Crush a couple of years back, but now that addiction isn't there because I realized I spent too much of my time. But hey, if your mom or dad plays Candy Crush, let them try this out instead, because, well, you may be able to make tokens in return. So yeah, you can just play a level and you can, it's basically like Candy Crush. But thank you so much for sponsoring. You can check them out in the description below. But I don't want to bore you too much with this. It's just Candy Crush, but basically crypto. Anyways, Bitcoin, if Bitcoin is not doing too much, we can probably start wrapping it up. I am very tired. We just did the moon show and I've not eaten the entire day. So that is a little bit concerning. But Bitcoin, again, testing a very crucial trend line here. The S&P 500, it's seeing an MRI top, a second MRI top, and we're right now in the red. So if the S&P 500 starts seeing a little bit of a drawdown, which I think it's overdue for, then things may get interesting with Bitcoin too. This is legendary, by the way. I'm going to make this call. So S&P 500, when it hit this support line, you can go back to my old videos, but I mentioned that here, the S&P 500 is probably going to be seeing a bounce. And let me tell you this, this one, right, this was a perfect shooting star candle. It's just the tech stocks started to wrap up, started to go up by insane values. So here, I think the stock market may be seeing a top and lead into a reversal back towards the 4,700 points area. But NVIDIA is having a huge conference in the next couple of weeks. Let's see if the tech stocks change the game up a little bit more. But in the meantime, I think the S&P is definitely due for a mini correction. But I just want to go through if there's anything new on Twitter. Let me just double check if there's any breaking news. And if so, then I can report it. Michael Saylor bought up some more Bitcoin as always. He just buys at this point. Now he has over $10 billion worth of Bitcoin and he's up 68%. $4 billion in profits is mind blowing. But in terms of new stuff that's going on in the market, I don't think there is too much breaking news. But Bitcoin, it's a new all-time high in Norway. We hit a new all-time high against the Egyptian pound, against the Turkish lira, the Nigerian naira. Just so many countries Bitcoin is hitting an all-time high in. And so when we compare it relatively to the United States dollar, who's to say that Bitcoin is not already at an all-time high? Therefore, I think it is super bullish for us at this moment in time. But yeah, there isn't anything new in the markets going on. If there are any breaking news, I will be updating you here on the CryptoKid.com Twitter. Again, the link is in the description below if you want to be following me on Twitter, where I update you with breaking news and just, cool stuff that's happening in the community. But ladies and gents, I'm going to wrap it up there because I have not eaten anything the entire day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to be putting timestamps right down below so that you don't have to worry about, if you're watching it later on YouTube, going through different pieces of information, but still, I would recommend watching the entire thing. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll be seeing you all on the channel tomorrow where I post an incredible video. Stay tuned for it, turn on the notification bell, and yeah, I'll be seeing you all tomorrow very soon. Take care, guys, and bye-bye.